Hey guys, today we're going to be doing another Reddit video on episode 2 Attack of the Clones. Of course, last week I reviewed episode 1 and did a Reddit video in episode 1, and this week I reviewed episode 2, and I'm going to do a Reddit video on episode 2. So yeah, let's get into this. Did George Lucas purposely change Jar Jar Binks in episode 2 and 3 because of the backlash, or was it his natural growth as a character in the trilogy? He wasn't in it as much or as goofy. He matured and became a delegate of the Galactic Senate. I'm not sure if this was part of Jar Jar's growth in the movie or if Lucas saw how much backlash he got, so put him in a much smaller role. So Jar Jar doesn't really do as much in episode 2 as he does in episode 1, and he barely appears at all in episode 3. This might be something to do with the backlash, but I feel like by the time episode 1 came out, then let's just say episode 2's script was, fairly well done. Phantom Menace was rushed, so I bet he probably didn't have enough time to do that much in episode 2. But he might have had time to maybe rework Jar Jar's role and just had him as like a senator there. And then by the time episode 3 came around, he was just sick of Jar Jar and just put him in it as like a cameo for the funeral scene. Kind of sad. Jar Jar didn't get any part in episode 3, but I can't really imagine how the movie really worked with him in it. I mean, like, what would he do? And there's no real role for him in that movie. I mean, okay, he just shows up at the funeral and yeah, doesn't appear for the rest of the Star Wars series. Like, seriously. Just episode 1 and 2. That's Jar Jar's time to shine. Unfortunately, I'm gonna do a serious note here. The actors that played Jar Jar, Ahmed Best, did try to kill himself because of the backlash that he received. Seriously, man, like that's rough. Imagine knowing that you're gonna like star in a Star Wars movie. Okay, and then the movie comes out and you're hated all around the world. That must feel so life-changing, must feel so horrifying. Okay, everyone hates you just because you played alien in a movie. It's just one career. Everyone hates you for it, and man, I'm at best. I don't know how to do this, but like, I'm a respect. Okay, I love Jar Jar. Okay, Jar Jar isn't even that bad in my opinion, and I kind of feel like people are starting to come around with Jar Jar. Okay, Jar Jar, he's my boy. How would Anakin and the ending of episode 3 change if Padme was successfully assassinated in episode 2? This just popped into my head. Let's say that Padme has escaped the first attempt, but the bounty hunter had been able to successfully pull it off by rounding up Padme whilst Anakin and Obi-Wan were still looking for her. I'll leave it how that happens up to you, since I understood how they would be able to track her down after losing her and gaining her proper sighting of her. How would Anakin have turned out? How would Palpatine turn Anakin over this time? Let's assume that he survives the rest of the war, where she could have saved him in the TV series. Since Anakin would have never fallen in love due to no real time and bond between them, it was only infatuated with her at that point. Sure, he threw a tantrum at losing her and failing to do his duty to protect her, but he'd get over with it. With time and responsibilities as a general in the war to come taking up most of his mind, I don't think that he would find someone else to fall in love with either. Anakin would definitely have given far more time and energy and thought into becoming a Jedi or more like a warrior, etc. Has anyone tried this theory yet? I think I said this in my review as well. I think Palpatine tried to assassinate Padme, but like these assassination attempts were supposed to fail, and Jango was then supposed to shot Zamo'sel with the dart that eventually led Obi-Wan to Kamino, I guess, kind of, and Padme didn't die, so then Anakin and Padme would fall in love, which eventually would trigger Anakin turn to the dark side. So maybe this was all his plan, but if anything went wrong in that plan, like maybe Jango just instead of want to kill Padme, or maybe he wasn't informed of all the plan, or something, or maybe Padme had an accident, or she actually did die in one of these fake assassination attempts, like at the beginning, then yeah, that would really change everything. And I don't even know how Anakin would turn to the dark side. He still could. I mean, it could just be like that he enjoys using the dark side so much that, gets consumed by the power. Consumed by the power of the dark side. Script for my rewrite of Episode 2 Attack of the Clones. This is my first draft of my rewritten version of Episode 2 Attack of the Clones. It's a near total overhaul of the plot with only some beats remaining the same. Key changes include the Clone Wars being already underway at the start, Grievous leading the Separatists being infiltrated by the Sidious rather than under his total control, and the Republic using humans with the Separatists using clones that look like battle droids. It follows on from my rewrite of The Phantom Menace. It won't make much sense without having read that script. If you haven't read my Phantom Menace script, or need a refresher, here's the link to that. Okay, you won't be able to click on a link because this is a video. I will though. A disclaimer: Attack of the Clones will get a lot. While I get a lot of enjoyment out of it, didn't work for me. However, if you love it, more power to you. Please don't take the script as an attack on an individual movie or anything like that. It's just a fan fiction of my own version of a story that I do love, no matter how many flaws I think it has. Any and all feedback, of course, totally welcome. And here's the script rewrite of Attack of the Clones. So yeah, I've started to read a little of his fan fiction. Unfortunately, I'm not much of a reader, so I couldn't really get into it. But Obi-Wan apparently has a twin sister in it called Cynthia. So yeah, that's cool. I'm writing a fan fiction, a Star Wars fan fiction of Star Wars Episode 2, like a rewrite, I guess. What if a 10-year-old directed Attack of the Clones? So yeah, that will be coming out, sooner than expected. I was gonna have it out on Christmas Eve last year, but I wasn't working on it that much. But I'm working on it a lot more now. I'm going to have it out in maybe another few months, maybe March. I'm going to have March, okay? Pick any Friday in March, okay? I'll pick any Friday in March. And then from that date onwards, every 2 weeks, there will be a video of that series out of 10-year-old directed Attack of the Clones. They're going to be in parts, because that's how I do things, okay? The parts for the Phantom Menace video were usually like 20 minutes. So yeah, there's 4 of them. The Attack of the Clones... Well, if a 10-year-old director of Attack of the Clones is going to be longer, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much longer, but longer definitely. Okay, the end of the Clone Wars is coming. People are probably going to be like, but the Clone Wars started in the last one? Yeah, it did. The last one was very confusing. I think I might have to like retcon a few stuff and that. Okay, whatever. Anyway, it's halfway done now. Okay, I'm going to be working on a lot in the past few months, because in the past week I've done like a pretty lot, like 10 pages at least. That's a lot compared to what I've done before. Did they make Palpatine look older in Episode 2, or is it natural aging? Looking at Palpatine in Episode 1 and 2, you notice a significant age difference. Even though it would have been a few years ago between production, how did they make McDiarmid look older, or is it natural aging? So Palpatine looks pretty ugly in the beginning of Episode 2, and there is like a dark side power, I think, where like the more you be part of the dark side, I guess it manipulates your face and it turns all ugly and stuff, which would have been a great explanation to why Palpatine looks the way he does in Episode 6. But Episode 3 kind of throws it out the window and just went with Mace Windu deflecting lightning back into his face. In my Episode 3 review video, I'm going to kind of say how I don't really mind that scene and how it actually, it's kind of cool. And I'm not going to spoil that video, but I'm going to have reasons why I actually kind of like the thing that kind of how Palpatine gets his, well, not really the face thing, but kind of the scene in general. Actually, I kind of like it. But yeah, it's kind of weird how Palpatine looked really ugly in Episode 2. I already have any reasons for that. I don't know, I'm just like reacting to Reddit posts and stuff like that. Why don't the clones from Clone Wars look like the ones in Episode 2 and 3? Normally, I understand the course that different actors play different things. However, Clone Wars was animated, and I think every character was the same as from the movies, except the clones. I just finished Clone Wars, and I'm doing a chronological rewatch, so it's just weird for me. Edit. Apparently, some people would rather just be dicks and argue with me than just responsibly answering my question. I've been on Reddit. I've been a Reddit user for 11 years, and I didn't think it was possible. Blah 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 blah. Blah. At first, I thought it was the armor that looked different, but no, actually, it's actually like the clones themselves, their faces. Yeah, in episode 2, they kind of look a bit different. They're not played by Tamora Morrison. They're played by someone different. Some unusual suspect gave me that information from his video of all the actors in episode 2, and where you know them from. So go check out his channel because he's done a video about episode 1 and 2 about all the actors from those movies and where they came and where you know them from and stuff. It's actually really interesting. Okay, so yeah, they look different in the Clone Wars. I just don't know. Of course, their voices are pretty different in the Clone Wars. I guess they couldn't really get Tamora Morrison for the Clone Wars TV show because that probably would have been a bit too expensive. You know, Tamora Morrison, you know, he wants that pay. You know, he wants that pay. So yeah, they look a lot different and sound a lot different. The clones, than the rest of the series. Episode 2 and 3. It's kind of weird, but you know, just go with the flow, guys. Why at the time did episode 1 receive more backlash, but it's now widely regarded as better compared to episode 2? So I think the reason why episode 1 got so much more backlash is because everyone was excited to see a brand new Star Wars movie, like, you know, all the original trilogy fans. You know, they were saying, yeah, let's go, more Star Wars, episode 1, prequel trilogy, bro, and then they went to see it, and like, it just really disappointed them and stuff, and they were let down, and they were all really sad. But then when they went into episode 2, they weren't really, you know, they were still kind of excited, but they always, you know, they just kind of went in with, you know, lower expectations this time because of how episode 1 turned out. So that's why I don't think episode 2 disappointed them as much because they were ready this time. So that's why episode 1 got hated more at release. But now episode 2 is generally regarded as the worst film. But still, there is cases of them like being right side by side, or episode 1 being worse. It kind of differentiates. But overall, I kind of feel like episode 2 is the worst film of the prequel trilogy anyway, because I do think one film in the Star Wars franchise is worse than episode 2. Actually, two of them, because that's the Clone Wars movie. Yeah, that's bad. I think everyone thinks that's like the worst movie on their list. So yeah, that's my reasoning for that. Did Yoda just actually make a big mistake for a Jedi Master at the end of episode 2 Attack of the Clones? Hey, so I've just rewatched every movie this weekend, and this thing just keeps bugging me. During the prequels, Anakin is told a few many times that he shouldn't let his personal feelings get in the way. This same idea is being taught later to Luke when he becomes Yoda's apprentice. But most importantly, during the chase after Count Dooku on Geonosis, when Padme falls out, Anakin wants to go after her. Then not long after, Yoda does the same mistake. He could have easily beaten Dooku if he didn't choose to save Obi-Wan and Anakin, which would have been taken care of Death Star and Darth Vader. Don't get me wrong, Yoda is probably my favorite Star Wars character after Obi-Wan and Jar Jar Binks, lol, but I feel like he made a big mistake here. Oh yeah, so if Yoda made a pretty big goof if he just allowed Anakin and Obi-Wan to get crushed, you know, it would take care of the Vader situation, killing Anakin, and he would kill Dooku. Probably just, let's say he killed Dooku. I mean, that's just 2 birds with 1 stone. Come on, Yoda. But of course, it's pretty big decision. Okay. Then again, the whole reason they went to the Geonosis in the first place was to rescue Obi-Wan. So if Obi-Wan just kind of died, it would be kind of for no point. Or maybe Anakin and Obi-Wan wouldn't die. Then again, because you know the big pillar is strong. But who knows? Maybe they would be able to crawl out, but they'd probably be pretty injured. I'd say, I don't know. I forget the size of the pillar though. It could be like really, really, really big. But for all I know, and I could have just crushed them all. But maybe just crushed their bodies, and then they just have to heal up for a few weeks and then be back on the battlefront, you know. But yeah, Yoda kind of screwed up on that one. It's just kind of weird because Obi-Wan was really yelling at Anakin for making the exact same mistake earlier. Okay, anyway guys, hope you enjoyed this video. This is the Reddit video. It was really fun. Again, this time, just backing some posts. I think this is the longest one so far. The last few have been 8 or 9 minutes, and this is, I think it was like 10 or more than 10 minutes. And I wanted to make these videos longer, just kind of like warming up to it, you know. So whenever I do like a review on like a film, I'm probably actually gonna do like a review like the following day. Not a review. No, I just said after I do like a review on a Friday. I'd do a Reddit video probably the day after, I'd say, or something. Reddit videos are gonna be like kind of tied to whatever I've done previously. Like I just did a Big Bang Theory season 1 retrospective because I like that show and I did this season 1 a while ago and just kind of want to get the ball rolling. Now we're on Star Wars Reddit because I'm actually in like a big Star Wars mood right now. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that like button, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.